Hello, it's Brad Qualley with All Eyes on Fishing. You know, a couple weeks ago, I posted some rod socks that I was making, and there was quite a bit of interest in it. I was just really doing it just to show that, hey, I'm saving some cash here. So, anyway, people were asking me how to make them, so I said, why not? You know, I didn't have a clue when I started this, even the material I needed or how to do it. I went and actually had to borrow a sewing machine because I don't have one, and I really didn't know how to use it. So I watched some YouTube on how to do this practice on a dish towel and kind of figured it out. By no means am I a seamstress, but we're able to get this done, and it seems to be working pretty well. You know, when I first went and got the material for this, I went to this place called Joann's Fabric. I went and met with the lady, and she told me what I needed or what she thought would work. And I found this stuff called ripstop nylon. It's $8 a yard, $7.99. I had no idea how many yards I wanted. I told her, you know, kind of the dimensions that I was thinking about doing and how many I wanted. I wanted to make between 20 and 24 rod socks. She thought I needed 4 yards. I'm like, okay, so let's do 4 yards. So I went in and got 4 yards of that. That's $32 worth of material to make a minimum of 20 of them, right? And then I needed some nylon, or not nylon, I needed some elastic to be able to put on the bottom of my rod sock so I can attach it to my reel. So of course the sock doesn't come off. Again, I had no idea, but I found this at Joann's too. This 1/4 inch braided elastic made by Dritz. It's 8 yards of it. I just bought one of them. That was $3.50. So the ones that I'm using here, when I make my product, I'm doing them at 15, 16 inches. So that goes a long way, 8 yards of that. It's going to be able to easily make all 20, 24 of the rod socks I'm trying to make. So the first thing I did is I came home and I laid it out. I laid out the material and ended up making the material 6.5 inch. It was a 66-inch piece for my 7.5 foot rod. So I had a 66-inch piece of material at 6.5 wide on the bottom and 3.25 up on top. Then I just put a straight stick down, marked it with a Sharpie all the way across, and cut it out. So I ended up having, you know, a piece of material that's 6 inches on top, 66 inches long, and 3.25 inches on top. So I cut that out. Now the first thing that you need to do is put on your elastic at the bottom. The first one I built, I didn't do that, but it was a big pain to try to do it later. So I tried on the second one that I made. It was a lot easier. So I'm here to tell you from my mistakes. Let's go ahead and do it this way. Now, before we get into this, I wanted to let you know too, when I took this material up front, they ended up having it on discount. So I ended up actually getting all of it for around $18 because they had it on sale or coupon or something they had up front. They gave me a discount. So all these rod socks, they end up being between, depends on the length, and how many I'm making, but between 80 cents and $1 a piece. You know, you go to try to buy this at anywhere, and even order them online, they're $6 to $8. So pretty good savings when you're at least doing a whole bunch of them. If you're just going to need one or two, it's probably not worth it. But if you have a whole bunch of rods like I do, you want to protect those, protect the guides, protect the strings from, your mono or whatever line you have on your reels or rods. Put them in and out of your gunnels. You're just going to save them. You know, it's going to last a lot longer. So the first thing I did is cut the material out, right? Like I talked about, measured it out, and now I folded this over. I folded this over and put one end of this elastic in there. It's only like a 1/2 inch fold, or 1/4 inch fold, whatever it is. You see these pins in here, these little stick pins? When I watched the video on how to sew stuff, they recommended these. I thought I could do it without doing that, but I don't have enough hands, bud. So you're going to have to use these. So put them in there. They say you can sew right over the top. I tried that. That didn't work for me. You must be doing something wrong. So I stop short, pull it out, and then just keep sewing until I get to the next one, pull it out, sew it all the way down. So put this end in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the other end because I need both sides, you know, of course, attached. So I put it in like 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches. Do that fold back over, and I'm going to have it held by, you know, one of those stick pins that gives you that extra hand, because you can't do it. You just can't. I thought I could. I figured that was just a waste of time, but I was wrong. So get yourself some stick pins. Kind of hard to pick up if you don't have any fingernails. But there, let me get that in there. So like I said, no expert with that, but what that's done now is that's held it all the way for me. So now I'm going to sew on this line right here. So I'll pull this forward a little bit. You can watch what I'm doing. I'm no seamstress, so bear with me when I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to make this video not super long, too. No one wants to watch a long video of some guy sewing a rod sock. But if you're interested in saving money, bear with me. We'll get through it together. So I got that locked down. I'm not going to, by any means, I'm not trying to tell you how to sew. All I'm doing is telling you what I did. So find someone else to show you how to sew, because I'm, like I said, not a big sewer. So I'm going to start off with, I learned right away that you need to go forward and backward just a little bit, and that locks that thread, and it makes it so it doesn't come unraveled, So what I'm going to do is take this and sew it all the way across. Now, when I get to the next portion, I'm not going to sew the entire time because it'll be a pain. You're not going to want to watch all that. But I'll show you what the end product looks like and what I've been doing. Oh, that didn't sound good. Oh, see, I didn't pull out that dang pin, and I hit it. But no big deal. So I'm going to go into the next one because this is not a sewing class. It's just to kind of show you what I've done. So now that I have that done, it will end up looking like. Let's cut that. It'll end up looking like this across the top, right? You sew it all the way across so both ends are attached. This I pulled out because I ran right over one of these things. I forgot to pull it out. See? Told you that happened to me. So I'm not going to reshoot everything just to show you that. So anyway, so now that I got that done, I have the end folded up. This is one I did just before I turned on the video. Now what I've done is folded this in half, pinned it, like every foot or so. Like I said, that's that extra hand, all the way down until it gets to the thin part, all the way down. So now what I'm going to do is sew it, start about 3 inches up from where my elastic part's, 3 to 4 inches up for here, because you want a little bit of width to be able to get it nice and easy over the top of your pole. Because that's what they do when you buy one, they have it that way. So I'm assuming that's there for a reason. Then you just sew it again all the way down, removing these little stick pins before you get to them, or you'll screw up like I did. That's happened to me twice now. Of course, once when I'm shooting and once early when I started doing this. But anyway, so keep going all the way down until you get to the very end. When you get to the very end, I go forwards and backwards again to lock in the thread so it doesn't unravel. And then what I do is, now it's inside out, just start pulling it inside out, or putting it right side back in. So on a finished product, it'll look like this, with it all the way down. You see, I take this all the way down to the very end. I would sew it. This is already turned inside out, or right side in. And then I just keep working this back to where I have it now, the rod sock right side in. When you have it right side in, it actually ends up pretty good. Look, I mean, all that seam that you sewed on the inside, it's hidden, but it looks good. I mean, it looked good to me. Durability and stuff, I don't know, but my buddy has some of those rod socks. I went over and looked at his, and heck, I tell you, the material feels the same. So I don't know. I don't know about longevity, how it's going to work out in the long run. All I know is that it's pretty slick right now, and it's less than $1. It takes about 15 months. Once I got rolling on this, 12, 15 minutes to do one sock. So that kind of gives you an estimate of how long it's going to take. They do work pretty slick. Like I said, I have the 7.5 foot rod. I'll put it right in. It's going to slide right down my rod for me and attach it at the end. It'll go in your gunnel real well. I went out to my boat, put it in my gunnel just to make sure that, it slid in and out, no problem. Attached to my end of my thing, and now it's on there good. The whole end up product ends up with looking pretty good. So I don't know if I helped you or not. We have a lot of tips. We're trying to save guys money that are into fishing or kind of fishing on a budget. Myself and the two guys that are involved in All Eyes on Fishing, we've been doing this tournament fishing for over 20 years. Fish for all kinds of fish, really on the heavy in the walleye circuit. Did bass several years ago, catfish. So we're going to really try to give you the skills to put you on fish and tips of the or whatever you call it, tricks of the trade. How about that? On how to save a little bit of money when you're out there getting ready to go out on the water. Tackle that works. We're not trying to tell you that you have to use a certain type of tackle all the time, but we're going to just tell you what works for us. So hopefully you learned something today. I know a sewing thing is not normally on a fishing site, but it's important to save us money. If I can get this done for under $1 and you want to protect your gear, well, that's going to save more money down the long run to get yourself some cranks. So if I have to buy cranks, I'm going to save my money the way I can so I can get what I need to get out on the water. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. AllEyesOnFishing.com. Share with your friends. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us, and we're trying to get this thing big. We're trying to just help guys out. So also send in your trophy photos or just any fishing photos to alleyesonfishing@gmail.com. Again, that's alleyesonfishing@gmail.com. We're going to start posting people's pictures on our trophy page. So a trophy can be anything that you think it is. All right, guys, get out on the water. It's springtime. We're going to be going out there soon. So we want to go out and get them. Remember, when in doubt, set the hook, and I'll see you on the water.